Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Craig Patterson for DS Sports as always, and I'm back with another just a quick one in reaction to, of course, Scotland winning again. We're unbeaten in 7 now, and the competitive record is still going, and all eyes are now on the Czech Republic tomorrow night at home once again, and it's the last game before the Serbia final, the playoff final, which we're all looking forward to, and hopefully we get a result in that one and send us to the Euros. This one is a big one tomorrow night though. It's got its own ramifications and it might well lead to potential playoff places or even just higher qualification seedings, whatever, for the future campaign. So we'll talk about that in just a wee second. But as always guys, remember to leave a like in the video, subscribe if you are new. But yes, Slovakia done and dusted, a 1-0 win, a brilliant goal from Lyndon Dykes. It has to be said, it was a brilliant move in the build-up. Like I said in the last one, I hadn't watched the game, so I hadn't really paid much attention. I've only had like brief highlights packages, and I'm kind of going word of mouth as well. But it sounded like it was a really good performance, really solid. Again, not too many chances being created from the Slovakians, from the visitors on this side, and even better then, it's a tougher quality opponent, albeit they might be on par with Israel. One might argue. It is actually a bit closer, like, group in terms of like their overall, what would you say? Their overall rating, you could say. Their overall ability. For example, I'm kind of struggling for a word there. But yes, kept Slovakia at bay. Didn't really let them into the game at all. It sounded like Marek Hamšík had a bit of a quiet game, but he did show spells apparently, from what I could gather. And some text commentary that I could get, even like the brief live shots I got while I was sneaking a wee shot at work. But yes, a brilliant performance, another clean sheet as well, and with new names coming in. Apparently I heard a lot of good praise for Andy Considine coming in on his Scotland debut at 33, a 500, I think it's a 500 plus appearance man for Aberdeen. So really good to see him in there and doing a good job for the boys as well. But ultimately it was a Lyndon Dykes goal that decided it off. It looked like a really good goal, brilliant link-up play on the right-hand side between O'Donnell and Ryan Fraser, who seemed to be everywhere that night. I saw him pop up on the left, saw him pop up on the right, and saw him in good positions, just everywhere really. So it sounded like he was the one that was making things happen, bringing the energy for the Scotland team, as I kind of expected, and we saw brief glimpses of that in the first game where he came on against Israel. So a brilliant performance, brilliant play. Like I say, that little slide ball from Fraser into O'Donnell with a first time chip cross. It was just a brilliant goal, and a typical striker's finish from Lyndon Dykes. And yeah, safe to say we all were waking up dreaming of an Aussie, which sounds a bit bizarre, but fantastic to see him scoring. Whether he'll have a part to play tomorrow night against the Czech Republic, I don't know. I'm going to bring this one out. I've been doing a lot of bringing them out the day after recording, so I've been filming them quickly, getting them a wee bit edited, and uploaded overnight, and scheduled for uploading them and then scheduling them for the next morning when it's a bit more easier for viewing as well. So yes, obviously I've been taking the opportunity with the late recording to then have a look at the press conferences for tomorrow's game, and it looks like the news of the camp is obviously Andy Robertson is suspended, so we'll likely see Greg Taylor coming in at left back tomorrow. Hasn't obviously featured as of yet, but certainly a good show for him. He's been pretty good for Celtic in recent games, and he's always done a good job for his national team, isn't it? Very rarely put a foot wrong. So it'll be good to see him get a good 90 minutes tomorrow. And John Fleck has just suffered from a wee bit of a back injury, so he is ruled out as well. Liam Cooper has been withdrawn, and as a result Paul Hanlon has come in as well. So will we see a bit of Paul Hanlon, or will we see more of the same from like Considine, Declan Gallagher and Scott McTominay in there as well? Or maybe we even see like a back four tomorrow. We'll wait and see. It's all kind of up in the air at the moment. There'll likely be chops and changes, as it has been a pretty short international break, as it's been like a 3-game international break, 3 games in a week. So we'll see what happens then. With John Fleck being we've been out. I mean, we had. It'll be interesting to see how that works. We'll probably see the likes of Ryan Jack come back into the team, Callum McGregor back into the team as well, after they missed out through with obviously John Fleck himself and Kenny McLean being in there as well. So we'll likely go back to something like what we saw in the first game against Israel, because we do have that kind of personnel still in the team, apart from perhaps obviously Liam Cooper and Andy Robertson, a left wing back. So will we see something similar? We'll wait and see tomorrow. Again, I might have to miss this one tomorrow, but hopefully I will get maybe a brief glimpse in there somehow, or I might even be able to. It's all up in the air whether I watch this or not. The other things to bring up, guys, obviously the Czech Republic have had their most recent problems with COVID. They've had, I think it's something like the head coach, I think, has had it, along with a couple of players and maybe a couple of backroom staff as well. The ones that I've noticed are out of the squad are Patrick Schick. He was originally called up, did play on Thursday night last week. He's now been withdrawn, and the only players that I've really seen are Dorida, the captain, a fairly prolific figure, and Thomas Susek, the West Ham player as well. He's still in the squad as well. So it might not look overly familiar to a lot of people, certainly in Scotland eyes, or into the general footballing world. But it will no doubt still be a really tough game, and one that will prepare us really, really well for the Serbia game going forward. Especially now we know that really Serbia can be beaten as well. They were beaten the other day by Hungary, who is obviously somebody we've beaten away from home in recent international friendlies, going back a couple of years under Alec McLeish's management, or in his most recent spell, to be fair. So we'll have to wait and see, guys. It's fairly up in the air exactly what situation Serbia are in, but there no doubt will have been changes from their respective playoff against Norway, which has obviously led them to them playing Scotland next month. So that being said, like we'll go back to the point before, it will still be a really tough game. Czech Republic, we know, are a very high quality team. They've got tremendous pedigree going back to especially the mid 2000s, but obviously that's a long time ago. It's a fresh generation of squad, and yeah, they've had their own issues. So we'll see how that affects them tomorrow, coming in to Scotland after they've just been out in Israel. They went back to Prague and they were tested. The whole squad was tested. They had a reserve squad selected in case there were any further problems, which led to something similar to what happened last month when Scotland travelled to Olomouc with their COVID problems and them having to rebrand the squad. So as far as I'm aware, the testing was all fairly was most generally negative. There might have been a couple more cases which I haven't heard about, and led to there's certainly been a few withdrawals from the initial incident and a couple of players coming in from perhaps that reserve squad. So from there, they've now obviously arrived in Scotland. They're now ready for the game, and they're no doubt going to bring everything they can to beat Scotland tomorrow night and end our unbeaten run. Will we see the unbeaten run go to 8 before we head to Serbia next month? Let's hope so. Guys, thank you very much. It's a very quick one from me. I know I kind of drivelled on, but mainly wanted to try and pack in as much information as I could. And yes, what a great result that was the other night. A brilliant win, really solid performance. I think there's a lot of negativity now being shifted away from the Scotland camp. I know we'll say, obviously, the lack of shots on target. We've had one shot on target the last 2 games, and we've scored 1 goal from it. Nonetheless, the performances are there. It's clean sheets. What if we keep a clean sheet, we can't lose the game. So hopefully that will continue tomorrow night. 3 points. Actually, I forgot to say, hopefully we get 3 points. We'll move 4 points clear with 2 games to go. Tough games, however, Slovakia and Israel away. And like I said, this now has further ramifications. If we win this Nations League group, we will be seated in pot 2 for the Euro 2024, the Euro 2022 World Cup qualification campaign, which means that we'll likely get a more favourable draw, although it could then mean that there's good teams below us that may join our group as well. But nonetheless, pot 2 would be brilliant for us, and if we win the Nations League group, we'll likely see the format for the Nations League is, I've explained this in a previous video, if the Nations League groups from this qualification campaign, from this current campaign of Nations League, the 2 best group winners will join the playoffs for the World Cup qualification following the qualification campaign as we'd normally go through it. So obviously with winning this group, you then have the top 4, the four group League A winners. They'll likely qualify because it's like the likes of England, Spain, Belgium, whoever, all these big nations. Then you'll probably see something similar in League B as well. So we're going to be as high as 5th, 6th, 7th or 8th, and these guys could all qualify by merit, and then we'll join the or they'll get playoff by merit, and then we'll join them in the playoff as well. So it's basically a guaranteed World Cup playoff as well, which would be unbelievably exciting. I know it's a quarter-final, semi-final, final campaign. It's a best-of-8 campaign, so we're looking at that as well. And then it goes towards the Euro playoffs, and we'll be in League A again. So, and we win the group, we go into League A, and we've known that from the League A groups, from the path of League A and League B and League C and League D, you get the 3rd or 4th place teams in League A who are going into League A. So you're basically guaranteed another playoff for the European. So basically we could be guaranteed 2 further playoffs for the World Cup 2022 and Euro 2024. So this is really important, guys. A win here with 4 points clear and another win away from home, and we're winning the group, and we're basically getting 2 further playoffs. So on that note, guys, let's bring some further positivity tomorrow night, and let's go and get the win against the Czech Republic. Against a weakened Czech Republic, no doubt. Another win and we're there. We're nearly there, should we say. I'm not tempting fate, yeah, we are nearly there. On that note, guys, thank you very much for watching the video, and leave a like on the video. Comment your own opinions from the Slovakia game and going ahead to the Czech Republic game, and even into the future, as I've just talked about. Guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. There's going to be another video after the Czech Republic game where we focus ahead to the Serbia game, and then we are back to club football for the next month before we get back to the Serbia final. Guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys very soon. Enjoy the game tomorrow night. We'll see you soon. Cheers.